The Judicial Conduct Tribunal continues today in Johannesburg. Gauteng High Court Judge Makhubele is facing a misconduct investigation by the Conduct Tribunal, which could lead to her impeachment. This follows a complaint filed by civil society organization #Unite Behind, which alleges that Makhubele violated the separation of powers principle by being both the judge and chair of a state-owned company. Our reporter Kenny Mapanga is following the story for us. Kenny, good morning to you. Can you tell us about this complaint that was filed by the civil society organization Unite Behind?
Well, good morning to you, Naledi, and to the viewers at home. Of course, this morning at the tribunal, we will see Judge Makhubele take the witness stand and tell us her version of events regarding this issue that Unite Behind has flagged with the Judicial Services Commission. Now, to give you background as to what this complaint is actually about, we have to turn back to the October 2017 leg of the JSC interviews, specifically the Gauteng High Court Division. Judge Makhubele, who was a senior counsel at the time, was one of the candidates that was interviewed for the 6 positions that were available in the court at the time. Now, she was one of the 6 candidates that were recommended for appointment to the Gauteng High Court Division. However, 2 weeks after that, she was then appointed by the then Transport Minister as the chairperson of PRASA. Now, we know that when the JC makes recommendations, followed by the time in which the appointment is made final by the President, there is that bit of a gap. But we do understand that that gap is rather to allow for these various candidates to wind up their affairs to minimize the risk of a conflict of interest. However, in November, when she was appointed by the then president to start in January 2018, it now presented a conflict because she was now the chair of PRASA, a SOE that is run by the Department of Transport, as well as someone who is about to imminently sit on the bench as a judge of the Gauteng High Court. Of course, Unite Behind then made that complaint saying that this was a breach of the separation of powers. You can imagine, Naledi, she would have been a judge as well as a chair of a state-owned entity, the board rather. And imagine if she had to adjudicate on matters that increased the risk of a conflict of interest in a judiciary that is supposed to be seen as independent. So now when the hearing starts at 10 a.m., we'll be able to hear from her side of events what exactly occurred and the question of deferment that was alleged to have taken place when she allegedly wrote to the Judge President Nambo at the time, asking to start her appointment in April instead of January 2018, citing that it was to wind down her affairs. We'll get all that information at 10 when that hearing begins, and she's expected to take the stand. Over to you in studio.
Yeah, we will be watching that very closely as well. There's certainly an interesting case there where we're seeing, of course, the highlighting of the need for separation of powers. We'll leave it there, though. Our reporter Kenny Mapanga speaking to us there.